Blackpink's recent world tour is gradually winding down, and honestly, each stop thus far has raised eyebrows, splitting fans on social media. Between wardrobe mishaps that had fans performing mental acrobatics to defend the girls, and sound issues that turned some concerts into pricey karaoke sessions, the entire experience radiated chaotic vibes. Amid all this turmoil surrounding what should have been their grand highlight, the undeniable truth is becoming harder to overlook. Is the Rocky Tour merely a sign that Blackpink might be on the verge of calling it quits? Or will they somehow pull it all together and deliver the Blackpink experience we've been yearning for? The Deadline Tour raised major red flags from the start when WG Entertainment abruptly released the announcement, leading many to feel like they were witnessing a company frantically trying to make moves before time runs out. Rather than generating excitement with a comeback like other top groups usually do, YG just bluntly revealed stadium dates without a single new track to back it, which made Blinks instantly skeptical about the entire endeavor. Netizens pointed out that the setup felt like a desperate cash grab, and fans were quick to voice their frustrations, especially when it became apparent they'd likely be receiving recycled performances from shows they've seen countless times. Naturally, it didn't help that YG later disclosed they would release just one new song during the tour instead of a full album that Blinks had been longing for. They tried to frame it as a special experience for fans attending the initial shows, since they'd get to hear it live on the spot. While some appreciated the gesture, others felt extremely let down. What added to the suspicion was how YG seemed to be operating with an unusual sense of urgency that conflicted with their typical approach. After having the girls on thin ice for nearly 3 years as a unit, there suddenly appeared to be a rush to get them back on stage. It didn't take long for fans to connect the dots regarding a possible contract expiration looming. Some netizens speculate that the Deadline Tour was YG's strategy to extract every last penny from Blackpink before potentially losing them forever. Which is exactly why there are so many questions now about what's truly happening behind the scenes. The tour itself didn't do YG any favors in re-establishing trust among fans. If anything, it further highlighted many concerns that have bubbled up within the Blackpink fandom for several years. Night after night, the same problems reappeared across various cities, with fans departing shows feeling more puzzled than satisfied about their experience. The performances intended to remind everyone why Blackpink has the spotlight left many wondering if the girls even wanted to be performing at all. And that's not the kind of vibe you desire when you're trying to prove your group still possesses the magic. The synchronization issues that haunted Blackpink in past tours unfortunately made an unwelcome return. This time, it felt even more apparent because fans had been eagerly waiting for the group to come back stronger. Instead of the tight synchronized performances that launched them to global fame, audiences witnessed shows where it appeared the members were performing entirely different routines to the same song. Energy levels were inconsistent as well, with some members giving it their all, while others appeared to be conserving their energy for something else entirely, creating an unsettling disconnect that made the entire production feel rushed, just as many had predicted. Things reached a particularly low point during their Los Angeles stop, where their rendition of Jump became a hot topic online for all the wrong reasons. Fans who had paid staggering amounts to see them were instead served a performance that felt more like a rehearsal, with timing issues so glaring that even casual viewers from the nosebleeds could notice. The most discussed moment was when Jisoo, often regarded as one of the group's more reliable performers, was caught on camera visibly struggling with her lip-syncing during a song that's been part of their setlist for years. The clip quickly went viral, but not for reasons one might expect, but due to its ability to reflect the overall essence of a tour that seemed to rely more on hopes and dreams than on adequate planning and professional execution. All these concerns have left fans pondering if what they witnessed isn't merely a subpar tour, but possibly the start of Blackpink's inevitable decline as we know them. The uninspiring performances, the hasty arrangements, and the overwhelming impression that no one's heart was truly invested have ignited some rather troubling discussions about whether the members are already mentally disengaged, merely going through the motions until their contracts run out. To many, that's what this Deadline Tour was truly about, Blackpink ticking off their final obligation to YG. This anxiety was only amplified when a viral post on social media caused the fandom to spiral into chaos on the 10th of September. An unnamed K-pop news outlet on X shared a claim asserting that Blackpink will not be renewing their contract with YG Entertainment post-tour without any evidence or credible sources to substantiate the assertion. Naturally, the post went viral across social media, leaving fans sharply divided between those viewing it as a potential end to years of mismanagement and those dismissing it as yet another unfounded rumor meant to create drama. What further complicated the situation was how the speculation resonated with frustrations that had been simmering within the fandom for years. Some fans found themselves actually relieved at the thought of the girls escaping YG's notoriously lax oversight of their careers, while others were anxious about the prospect of never seeing all 4 members perform together again. They ended up with different agencies. Neither YG Entertainment nor any Blackpink members have addressed the speculation, leaving everyone to speculate about the group's future. The bulk of fan reactions to the contract rumors has shown something quite alarming about Blackpink's current condition. For many Blinks, the idea of their favorite group parting ways with YG isn't the disaster scenario one might expect. Instead, there's been an odd mix of relief intertwined with sadness, as fans begin perceiving the contract expiration as potentially liberating the members from years of what many see as corporate disregard and inner fandom toxicity. The prevailing thought that YG has been stifling the group rather than nurturing them has become increasingly prevalent in fan discussions, with many openly thanking the company for possibly relinquishing control over artists they clearly don't manage well. Most surprisingly, some of the most passionate fans have reached a stage of total emotional fatigue. The comment sections are filled with longtime supporters, conceding they've ceased to care about whether the group stays intact, with many stating they only wish the best for the individual members at this juncture. However, all the somber conjecture might actually be entirely misplaced when you factor in one crucial aspect that appears to have been overlooked amid all the sensational theorizing. Blackpink already renewed their contract for group activities back in December 2023. If this is yet another 5-year renewal agreement that idols typically sign with YG, it means, mathematically speaking, we are far from the end of their group journey, and this present tour is certainly not a final send-off before they vanish altogether. Netizens even argue that it starts looking increasingly absurd when you realize Blackpink faces disbandment rumors every time they engage in any group-related activity, which implies that perhaps the issue lies not with the group's longevity, but with an overly anxious fan base trained to brace for the worst given YG's erratic management approach. To some, the fixation on interpreting dark omens in every tiny detail has reached nearly ridiculous heights, especially regarding the tour's title, which some fans have regarded as a foreboding countdown to the group's dissolution. Others speculate that YG's choice of that specific name was likely their way of showcasing the significant investment and effort they've committed to making this tour a success, not a cryptic hint indicating they intend to dismantle their primary revenue source. Yet, even if the disbandment rumors are founded on no substantial evidence, there's an increasing feeling among loyal fans that Blackpink may be nearing the end as a group, irrespective of what any contracts state officially. The truth is, the rising success of their solo endeavors is diminishing their motivation to focus on group activities that appear to sap energy rather than ignite excitement. Some fans have been brutally frank about observing that the sharpness and intensity that once defined Blackpink's performances have noticeably waned over the years, hinting that even if they technically remain united, the peak of their synergy might already be in the past. The solo career aspect complicates this further, as history repeatedly shows that personal success can often lead to the disbandment of a group. Critics have likened this to instances where Justin Timberlake eclipsed his fellow NSYNC members and where Harry Styles utilized One Direction as a launchpad for his own ambitions. Analysts assert that this pattern is well recognized. As members begin to encounter personal fame, the group dynamic tends to shift towards supporting those solo pursuits instead of fostering collective achievements. In K-pop particularly, this translates to solo schedules taking precedence, as they are often not only more popular but also easier to oversee. In the case of Blackpink, the members have been refreshingly candid about how their solo ventures have become avenues for personal liberation and self-exploration that group activities simply can't offer. For example, Jennie mentioned how her individual work has helped her differentiate between being a performer and being an artist, while Rosé described her solo journey as discovering comfort in herself that wasn't achievable within the group framework. When your solo projects provide the creative satisfaction and personal evolution that your primary role fails to deliver, it becomes glaringly clear where your priorities will naturally lean, regardless of any contract renewal stipulations about your duties. Ultimately, the greatest concern among fans is the uncertainty from Y Entertainment and the members regarding the true duration of their December 2023 contract. Without clarity on whether they're committed for 2 more years or 5, it's hard to discern if the conclusion of the tour marked the dawn of a new chapter or a carefully planned farewell extended to maximize returns. However, all hope isn't lost, as the members have indicated that this is merely the beginning for Blackpink, and Jeju has even shown real enthusiasm about their upcoming anniversaries, which hardly sounds like someone who has mentally tapped out and is merely counting down to liberation. What are your views on Blackpink's future? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for tuning in.